All right, all right, all right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our first Inner Circle Live session of the year. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. We hope everybody is doing well today. Man, we have a fun year in store. We're excited about where we are. We're excited about where we're going, and we are excited to have all of you along on this journey with us. We appreciate you. We hope everybody's new year is off to a phenomenal start. And let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So we are going to get right to it. But before we do, if everybody can drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. Got some changes happening with the audio. Just want to make sure. Whoops, let me unlock the chat for you. But just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. The chat should be open. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, so let's get to it. Good morning. So, man, we're not going to spend a ton of time on the fundamentals today. We're going to get an overview of the week, see where things fall, and then we will dive in. So yesterday, obviously, we had bank holidays around the world. And today, not much happening. We got OPEC meetings coming in today. Tomorrow, we have CPI data coming in for the Swiss franc. Okay. We also have ISM PMI and JOLTS job openings for the United States. We have the FOMC meeting minutes coming out at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Right. It's going to be big for us to follow. We know in December, the Fed came in and slowed their pace that they're increasing interest rates. However, they stated that the terminal rate where they will stop increasing interest rates will be higher, right? So still more of a hawkish tone. They're going to continue increasing interest rates just at a somewhat of a smaller pace or shorter pace, but it could increase longer, right? So those meeting minutes are going to be important for us to take a look at tomorrow. Then we have the regular cycle ADP non-farm employment change, which are precursor to the report that comes out on Friday. We also have unemployment claims for the United States coming in tomorrow as well. And then we have non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change, average earnings, Canadian employment and unemployment rate, and the unemployment rate for the United States, and ISM services PMI. So one thing to note about the unemployment rate. As we ended the year, we saw some companies starting to lay off or cut jobs. And into the new year, we're going to start seeing that more. But one of the things to keep our eyes on is how companies are cutting jobs, right? We're going to see companies, and we've already started to see companies cut jobs, but more from a perspective of severance packages, right? Giving severance packages where it's the employee's decision if they leave the company or not, right? So that may not show up on the unemployment rate as far as people filing for unemployment, right? Because they weren't fired. So it's going to be dependent on how the verbiage is structured in that release of these individuals, but we could see the number of jobs decrease And these numbers start to shift, but we may not see them in some of the reports because of how some people get let go from these jobs. So that's something to keep our eyes on as we move through this year and looking at inflation and how the Fed continues to move forward with their rate hikes. So that's just a note there. And that's where we'll stop from fundamental perspective. Do we have any questions fundamentally? Nope. Sweet. All right. So let's uh let's hop into the charts. We'll take a look at the dollar index first. And then what we'll do is we'll just get a good overview of the market to see where everything is. We'll get through as many pairs as possible and we'll go from there. All right. So hop over to the dollar index. We see we got this was our markup from previous, and we're watching the dollar, right? On the daily time frame, we had this beautiful 80-20 scenario play out. Shallow retracement 118 to 127. Price pushed down into this 618 retracement level. Okay. Down into the 618 retracement level. And we've just been pressing sideways. But we see as the market opened yesterday into today, we're getting some bullish action. All right. Getting some bullish action out of the dollar. So the question is going to be, do we break out of this range and start to press above these resistance levels, right? If we start to make those higher highs and higher lows, breaking above, right, we'll see that dollar continue to gain strength as we talked about, right? The Fed continuing to increase their interest rates. So investors could continue to seek those safe haven spaces, right, for their capital. Okay. So that's the daily perspective on the dollar. We drop down to the 4 and we zoom out. And this fib here got taken out. So we're going to run our fib off of the high. Bang. Like so. Here on the 4-hour time frame, I'm actually going to bounce back to the weekly time frame as well. But here on the 4, we got another shallow retracement and price has just been hovering. We push down into that 118 and 127 zone. Then we see the nice bullish action coming in today. Okay. Nice bullish action coming in today. So again, we want to see if we're able to break above this level and start to get bullish in this fashion. Okay. We're going to drop back to the weekly real quick because we also have potential for, right? So Benny talked about this closing out the year. We also have potential for head and shoulders pattern. If we get this push back to the upside, right? Coming into this 13,161 level, we could be in for a potential head and shoulders pattern here, right? And we have price push right down, equal with that previous low. We didn't take it out. So if we get this push back to the upside and we come back into these resistance levels here, right, we could see this head and shoulder type pattern as we move through the beginning of this year. Okay, so we'll watch this to see how things move, and we'll keep this in mind as we are working through our dollar pairs, understanding this could be the potential here, right? And some of those dollar crosses having inverted head and shoulders, inverted king's crown patterns as they move through as well. Okay, so that's the weekly time frame perspective. Potential head and shoulders opportunity. We drop down to the 4. We'll zoom out and see what that looks like on the 4-hour time frame, and that's what it looks like there. Right, so we get this bullish action coming back up to the top here, matching this left shoulder, and we could be in for that. All right, so that is the dollar index. And give me 1 second here. All right. Cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro. How you doing, man? Happy New Year.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year to you as well, Ryan.
Appreciate it, man. How are things going for you today?
Oh man, going pretty good. Just really got my charts all lined up, just waiting on the action, the price action to kick in, get
Yes,
things
sir.
normalized a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely getting prepared. Definitely getting prepared. Do you have anything from a fundamental perspective that you want to let the team know about before we dive into the rest of these charts?
No, just continue to watch what's going on in China as I guess they're looking to reopen and just watching the overall demand, right? We saw, and I was reading that trading economics this morning about the gold hit 6 month highs on growth concerns, and then the oil declines on the demand concerns as well. So just continue to watch and see how this is all going to play out here at the first part of the new year in
Yeah,
January. That's it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Other things to keep our eyes on in the background too. Um, the war in Ukraine is still happening, right? It hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't changed. That is still occurring, and the potential war with China and Ukraine um, is still brewing over in the Asia Pacific area. So appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. So let's dive in. I'm gonna start with the Aussie pairs today. Um, let's start with the Aussie CAD. Okay. From a weekly time frame perspective, right? Weekly time frame perspective, we zoom out, we see where we sit. Okay. We got a 786 retracement, right? Price pushed down. We got this beautiful pullback here. Came into this high at 93,324, and we started to stall out a little bit at the end of the year, right? And we're opening today or this week trying to press down. So we'll see if this level continues to hold and see if we're able to start getting bearish on this Aussie CAD, pushing back down to this weekly low, potentially breaking that and giving us another move to the downside to complete this Fibonacci sequence from a weekly time frame perspective. All right, so we drop to the daily time frame and we look at our fibs moving to the upside here. We got a 618 retracement. We got a pullback here and see a nice bullish break to the downside, right? Um, in favor of the Canadian dollar here. So looking for this to potentially continue moving down. Okay. This daily level, I'm actually going to shift down, right? So that'll be our daily support. And this will be another support level here. Right there. All right. So we got those support levels there. So as price continues to make its way to the downside, right, we'll see breaks of this if we're going to continue moving south, which we definitely could in favor of the Canadian dollar for at least a short period of time. All right. So price pressing down now, strong bullish move, bearish move off the daily time frame. We come to the 4, right? We'll make these adjustments here on our support levels. Drop that down. And we'll drop that down. Okay. And clean out these. Okay. So on the 4-hour time frame, right, we got a deep retracement. Price gave us a beautiful pullback. Now it's making its way back down. Okay. So we could see a break of this A boundary at some point. Okay. Could see a break of that A boundary at some point. When we get down to the 1-hour time frame, we'll see what this pullback was. What this pullback was, and then we'll see the extension levels as we move to the downside. But if we'll take these to the lower time frame. If we pull out the up fibs for a second and we look at this to the downside, because that's our bearish, our bias for the period of time, right? We see we got a 618 retracement here on the 4-hour time frame, and we're pressing down, right? So shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, beautiful pullback, right? 80-20 scenario, right? That we love to see. Came into that 618 retracement zone, and now we're pushing bearish, right? Now we're pushing bearish. So that was a beautiful pullback there. Gave us another opportunity to get short. All right. So as we drop down to the 1 and we zoom out, right, and we run that fib off the high, we see this pullback here took out our A, right? Took out our A boundary on the fib coming to the downside. So we'll flip those fibs and run them to the upside, right? But again, actually, before I do that, right, another scenario where shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, put us in perfect position for the move up, right? Took its time, gave us a strong push down, but ultimately made us move to the upside and took out that A, okay? So we'll now run our fib to the upside, like so, boom. And again, we had it, right? Looking at Friday, Monday, right? Yesterday, we got that consolidation, came just shy of that 118 level, right? But shallow retracement, just shy of the 118 and 127 zone, and we got our breakdown, right? So now what we could be in for is a pullback to retest this daily level that it broke through, and then potential continuation short. All right. So this one is on the move to the downside. Look for a pullback and a retest, and then we'll see if we get another opportunity to get short there on the Aussie CAD. Okay. Drop down to the 5. Right. For our intraday traders, shorter term time frame. This is what you got. You got a double bottom scenario here on the 5. Right. Price push down. Double bottom scenario. We're starting to get this push. Right. So look for this move happening. If you trade the B boundary, these double bottom scenarios, if that's in your trade plan, right, here's an opportunity for you to get long, right? Run your trend line to the downside off the high. Okay. And you would have had an inner trend line coming like so through your low. Bang. Trend line break, right? You're sitting at that outer trend line. If you want to be conservative, you can wait on the break of that trend line, but you also got your swing low here, right? 2 candles to the right, 2 candles to the left. So now there's that opportunity to get long back to the 382, that 618 retracement level, right? So that's your shorter term opportunity on this pullback here, right? And then if we get back to this daily level, back into the sweet spot on the 5, right, we can then look for that short opportunity again there. Okay. Questions on the Aussie CAD, long-term or short-term perspective? Nope. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So we'll drop down to the Aussie Swiss. All right, looking at this from a weekly time frame perspective, we've been hovering here at the 62,091 level, right? A double bottom scenario on the weekly time frame, and we're trying to get bullish, right? Trying to get bullish. We weren't able to fully break out to the downside. This level held, and we're trying to get bullish here, okay? So we'll see how things move throughout the week, but that's where we sit. Okay, so we drop down to the daily time frame. From a daily time frame perspective, closing out the year, we broke out of the consolidation to the downside, right? But we created a new swing low here. Okay, so this level now shifts down. This is our support because that level was taken out. So the question is going to be this, right? We broke out of this consolidation. We broke out of the consolidation, right? Got a double bottom scenario here. Do we just retest, right, the breakout of the consolidation, or is this a true double bottom scenario, and do we continue to rise? Okay. So that's going to be the question. We got CPI data coming for the Swissy tomorrow morning. So that could give us an indicator of how this moves, right? Also, closing out the year, Swiss National Bank also stated that they would not hesitate to intervene in the currency market if necessary, right? So keep that in the back of our minds from a fundamental perspective when looking at our Swiss pairs, that we could see Swiss franc start to kind of take a back seat to some of the currencies, as we've seen over the last 2 months or so of the year, right, where the Swiss franc was kind of the Swiss franc and the dollar were the safe haven currencies of choice, right? We could potentially start to see that shift as we move through the beginning of the year. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind from a fundamental perspective as well. All right, so we'll watch this level here and see what direction we get, right? Do we get the push up or do we get the push back down? Okay, so that's the daily time frame perspective. We drop down to the 4. Okay, and this is where we are on a 4-hour time frame. We got a nice deep 618 retracement, right? Matching the extension is down here. So this is going to ultimately, we'll need to answer to that question of, do we just retest the breakout and continue short to get to the 4-hour D extension, or, right, does price break to the upside in favor of that Swissy, in favor of the Aussie, right, and finish out that double bottom scenario, rising higher. Okay, so that's something to keep our eyes on. Not a pair that I'm trading right now, but that's what I'm looking at in this scenario, is if we start to push back to the upside there. Okay, down to the 1, right? This is where we sit on the 1-hour time frame. We got our trend line break and price pushing to the upside. Another 80-20 scenario, right? Fibs ran off the high here. Okay, another 80-20 scenario. So we're pushing back into the 618 retracement level off this 1-hour fib. Okay, so we'll pull the trend lines out as those have been broken. And now we're going to watch and see what we get out of this, right? Now we're going to watch and see what we get out of this. Okay, if we continue moving to the upside, take out the A, we can then flip our fib and run them to the upside. All right, so that's the Aussie Swiss. Any questions here? Right, no trade here, right? Just looking to see what direction we ultimately move. No. All right, cool deal. That's our daily support level there. All right. We'll move on to the Aussie yen. And today I just want to get us an overview of where everything is, right? As we move through the rest of the week and really through the rest of the year, we're gonna start to we're gonna hone in, right, on we're gonna hone in on our key setup and really look for those opportunities in the market. And as those start to play out, right, we'll start to see some potential live trading happening, right, where we might take some trades in action, right, if those setups present themselves for us. Miss Carolyn, what I mean by flip the fib is if your A gets taken out, if your A boundary gets taken out, you just change the direction of your fib. So let's go back to that Aussie Swiss. What I mean by that is this, right? So here in your 1-hour time frame, right, price is pushing to the upside. If price continues to make those higher highs and higher lows, right, and price pushes up and takes out your A boundary, then you just change the direction of your fib. You start from the low and you work your way up, right? These are running to the downside, so you're changing the direction that you're running your fib sequence, right? That's what we mean by changing the direction, or flip your fib, right? You flip it from moving down to moving up. Okay. All right. Back to this was Aussie yen. Okay. Weekly time frame. We're sitting at a key level. Shallow retracement. We weren't able to get into that 118 127 zone on the weekly time frame, but we started to break down, right? So we're sitting at a key level. The yen started to pick up some steam as we close out the month of December. Okay. So this level is going to be key for us to watch. If we're able to break through this level and continue moving to the downside with the yen picking up some steam, or does this level hold and do we get a reversal back to the upside here? Okay. The other thing to watch here from a weekly time frame perspective is a potential another head and shoulders pattern. Right? Not as pronounced, but if that occurs, right? If this level holds, could see a push back to the upside. So that's something we'll watch. We'll keep our eyes on if that happens. Okay. But that's the key level that we want to keep our eyes on right now. So we'll zoom out to the daily time frame. And here on the daily, right, we got the 80-20 scenario playing out. Actually, nope, I apologize. Not an 80-20 scenario. We got the 382 here, right? So watching that key level. We did push into the 118 and 127 zone. If we break this weekly support, right, we're looking at that deeper retracement happening. Okay, looking at the deeper retracement happening. If that level holds, then, right, we'll see price push back up into potentially this cluster of resistance levels here. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. All right, so that's the daily time frame. Look, we'll drop to the 4. On the 4, we're going to run fibs off the high. These fibs to the upside got taken out. We had a ton of consolidation, right? And then we had the breakdown here. So we'll run our fibs off of the high and look at the sequence moving down. Okay, that A got taken out. So we'll run it from there. And this is what we have here. Okay, so we got 50% retracement, daily resistance, price pushed down. So here's the scenario. If this level, this weekly level holds as support, right, we'll see a push, right, like so. So on the lower time frames, we're going to want to watch, and we'll see on the 1 hour and on the 15 and 5, we'll see if something is setting up for reversal there. But if that level holds, we'll see that push. Okay. If it does not, if it breaks, we're headed to the matching D extension of 82,791. Okay. As we drop down to the 1, right, we'll run those same fibs off the high. Okay. Like so.
Hey, Ryan.
Benny, what's up, bro?
Hey, that's just a beautiful, like no fibs, just support and resistance. That's just a beautiful past support because future resistance. That's just beautiful. That's, you can't get any better than that.
Breaks and a retest. Yep. Appreciate you calling that out, bro.
Yeah, look how that zone held, looking back to the left of the two areas of support.
Right here.
Right, previous. Yep.
Whoops. Yep. Price held that support right here. Right. Support again. Pushed up, right? And back to a previous support level, held as resistance. Break of that support level. Came back, retested it as resistance. Beautiful. Beautiful example. Breaks in a retest, right? Or price holding at key levels, right? And when it breaks violently and then comes back and retests. Appreciate you pointing that out, bro, right? Beautiful look. So for those that trade, right, just support, resistance, and breakouts, right? This was somewhat of a consolidation, right? Bottom of the range, top of the range, came back to the bottom of the range. didn't push back up and just broke down, right? And then came back to retest. Now we got another push down. Okay. So now the question is going to be this push down to the support level, right? Which also, if we look, will support level here, right? So key level for us. Do we get a break of it and then come back and retest? For continuation, or do we range for a bit and then come down? Okay, so that's what we want to, that's what I'm keeping my eyes on right here, right? Is what happens at this level, this key junction. Okay, key junction. So run those fibs off the high, right? We got a 50% retracement. That's double bottom scenario. Okay, double bottom scenario potentially. Again, if it breaks, we're looking at the matching D extension off of the 50% retracement, right? Which is the 1618 at 84400. Okay, 84400. So that is the 1 hour time frame. So now I want to drop down to our lower time frames just to see what opportunities we may have from an intraday perspective. All right. So zoom out here. I'm going to run our fib off the last high. This is on the 5-minute time frame. I bounce back to the 15. So here on the 5, we already got a 50% retracement. Price is stalling in that zone, right? So nothing doing from the Fibonacci sequence and our sweet spots, right? We already got the pullback. Now, if price starts making its way to the upside, we could take a look at that as a potential reversal opportunity if that swing low forms. All right, so I'm going to move backwards. I'm going to move backwards and go back to the 15-minute time frame here and look at things here. All right, and I'm going to come back a little bit. So I want to see how the waves play out from this high, same as we did on the 1 hour time frame. All right, similar deal, right? 50% retracement, similar to the 1 hour. Right, so we're looking at the double bottom scenario if that plays out. So same scenario here, right? We got a swing low. We'll wait for this candle to close, give us a swing low on the 1 hour, right? But potential double bottom scenario, same as the 1 hour. So nothing doing there unless we get that double bottom to form, and then we'll get a push to the upside on the Aussie yen. Okay. Questions on the Aussie yen? Oh, sweet. Awesome, Carolyn. Awesome. All right, cool deal. Aussie, New Zealand. This one has been an interesting mover, but you see, we initially broke out of the range to the upside. We came right back down into this range, right? Held at this weekly support level and started pushing back to the upside, right? So we could be headed to this 109 level, retest that weekly level that we broke back below, right? So we'll watch that push to the upside and see what happens, right? And this Aussie New Zealand is always interesting, right? Similar trade partners, similar regions. So you see range action happen quite a bit, right? And when it ranges for a while. So that's the weekly time frame perspective. We come down to the daily and we look at this move to the downside, right? And you see the waves as they played out. We had strong momentum to the downside in favor of the New Zealand. We got to the D extension without much of a retracement, right? And this is those alternating retracements that Benny talks about, right? Didn't get much of a retracement here. We pushed down to the D extension, and then we're getting a deep retracement now, right? A strong move back to the upside. So we'll see, sitting at an 8-6 retracement off the daily time frame right now. We'll see if we get price to take out the A and push back to this weekly level, right? And that's going to be what I have my eyes on, is if we push back higher, right? If we get back to this weekly level, we'll see if we hold that to then get an opportunity to get short. And we'll have an opportunity then to change our fib direction and flip them to the upside if that occurs off the daily time frame. Okay. But deep retracement levels right now. We've got a level of resistance here also. It's not pulling it out, but this is a resistance level here. Right. Got this zone that occurred, right? Level of resistance. So we'll mark that out and we'll drop this down to our lower time frames. We drop down to the 4. Okay. And this is what we have playing out on the 4-hour time frame. Interesting, right? So on the daily time frame, we're looking at an A potentially getting taken out, right? On the 4-hour, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, boom, push to the upside. This daily resistance level here, right, coming back and retesting that zone is right at your 382, right? We got a weekly level here at 109. That's in line with the 618 retracement level, right? Sequence is a beautiful thing once you understand it, right? Once you understand it, it's a beautiful thing. Okay. We'll push to the side here, right? Now we're looking at this daily resistance level and this weekly resistance level as our 2 targets, and we'll see when we start to get price to turn back over, right? But been a beautiful move to the side. Come down to the 1, and this is where we sit on the 1. Okay. Shallow retracement didn't quite get to that 382 level. 107, 235. Just barely got there, right? So we'll see if we get price to push back to the upside, right? The D extension is in line with that weekly resistance level. Okay. So we'll see if we get another push to the upside if price continues to rise here. Okay. So nothing doing right now. We just barely wicked that 382. And we'll see how price responds at this resistance level and then at this weekly resistance level if we get there. Okay. So nothing doing right now on the Aussie New Zealand, but what you can do, right, if we're looking at a potential reversal, is just map your trend lines. And as long as price stays below, as long as price stays above, sorry. As long as price stays above, then we'll allow it to stay above. Like so. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's the Aussie New Zealand. Any questions here? Nope. Okay. Cool deal. We will keep rocking. Let's take a look at our Canadian dollar pairs. CAD Swiss. Ooh. Look. All right. So we zoom out here on the weekly time frame. Okay. I got a fib running here on the weekly. We got a 618 retracement, right? But we've just been ranging for quite some time, right? Quite some time we've been in a range. So I'll pull this out, right? So we can just look at where price is and what it's doing. So we zoom back in here. Okay. Price came to this weekly support level, right? Which was support here. And it's holding. We got strong bullish action happening right now, right? Strong push to the upside. So we broke through key levels here, monthly support, weekly support, strong aggressive break. Now the question is, do we get a pullback and retest it? Okay. Again, Swiss franc as the counter currency here. Okay. We could see some weakness coming in from the Swissy, which would give this ability to rise. Okay. So that's a weekly look. Drop down to the daily, and we have fresh AB boundary here on the daily, right? At that weekly support level, right? Push down, hit the D extension off of a 618 retracement, right? See the move, A, B, C, 618 retracement, matching D extension here, 1618 extension. We got consolidation through the holiday. Now we're starting to get a push out of the B boundary, right? The daily resistance level in line with the 618 retracement, okay? So we could be in for a nice pullback here, okay? Nice pullback there. Drop down to the 4. We'll see where it falls. All right, another B boundary level. Okay, double bottom type scenario. Consolidation at the low, consolidation at the low, and we got a push. All right, so we're gonna turn line off high here on your 4. Right. Bang. Right, that's your trend line break. Beautiful push here. All right, so that's your trend line break on the 4. If you're a longer term swing trader and you trade off the 4-hour time frame, there's your break, right? Potentially look for a pullback, retest this top of this consolidation zone here, right? We'll look on the lower time frames to see what's happening, but could get a pullback to retest. And then boom, right? But this one is starting to set up beautifully for this move back to the upside here. All right. So this is one to keep your eyes on. We'll look at it from a shorter term time frame, shorter term perspective, and from a longer perspective, right? But potential opportunity to the upside here. Okay, so we'll drop down to the 1, right? Zoom back. See what's happening here. Loading a little slow, but here we go. Surprise, surprise. Shallow retracement, right? Less than that 382. Oops. Got to get used to these updated features. Bang. Shallow retracement. Price pushed down into the 118 to 127 zone. All right. Now we're trying to break out. All right. So if we break above the top of this range, all right, for those that wait for the breakout, okay, different types of entry style, right? Those that for the breakout of the consolidation, bang. And then look for a pullback and retest of the top. All right. That could be one way to look at this. Okay. Could be one way to look at that. Right. But 80-20 scenario here on the 1-hour time frame. So at least back to this 382 is what we're looking, right? Which is in line with that daily resistance level. Okay. So this is one entry technique. Break, retest, continuation long. Right. One opportunity there. We zoom back out. We run our trend line from the high. We'll run them off of this high for now. Right. And there's your trend line break, similar to that 4-hour time frame. Right. So another way you can look at this as we zoom in on the price action. Right. Another way you can look at that, that's your trend line break there. Okay. Bang. So you had this consolidation zone here. This is what we talked about on the 4-hour, right? Actually, let me take this off. Remove that scenario out. Okay. You had this consolidation zone here. Price broke out to the upside, right? Same entry technique that we just talked about from a larger perspective, right? Do we get this pullback? Retest that zone. We broke out of it. We get a pullback to retest, then opportunity for continuation to the upside. Okay. So that's your break and retest opportunity there. Okay. We already got our trend line break. We got our swing low, right? Swing low, trend line break. Missed the entry there. That's okay. You got to break out, pullback, retest, continuation. Okay. So there's another opportunity waiting for us on the upside. So we'll have to wait for a swing high to form on the 1 hour time frame, but you can start to run your sub fibs or your smaller waves once you get these two candles to the right to form, right? And looking at a fib to the upside like this, and you can track that retracement level as price moves as well. Okay. So, but on your 1 hour time frame, there's your entry technique, right? Break, retest, look for a continuation long. Okay. Now we'll drop down to our lower time frames here and look at this from a shorter term perspective. We'll come back to the 15. Right. We got a potential opportunity there. On our 15, right? That A got taken out. So look, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Bang. Took off to the upside, took out the A. Here you go, Carolyn. Right? Took out the A boundary. Actually, here, right? A boundary, price pushed up, took it out. So we flip our fib. We find the low, run the fib to the upside. Bingo. Intraday traders, here you go. Shallow retracement, 118 to 127 zone, starting to break down. Right? 618 retracement level, right? You come back to that range that price was in. This was that range that price was in. Bang. 80-20 scenario on the 15, right? Intraday traders, trade off the 15-minute time frame. Here's your entry opportunity for retracement. Goal of the trend line is get as close to the highest point as possible without cutting off any wicks or bodies. There you have it. Take the cloud off for a second. There you have it, right? There's your trend line break, right? There's your entry opportunity off this 80-20 scenario to get short, right? Short-term scenario here. Bang. So now we're looking for this retracement to occur, right? 382 is our TP1, 618 as your TP2. That 618 is right in line with the top of that range that we just broke out of, right? So if you want to trade the retracement, there you go. If you want to wait for that 618 retracement off this 15, and then we can look for the opportunity to get long off the retest. That's a beautiful scenario there. Okay. So now we go down to the 5. I'm going to leave those drawings on, right? You can see that 80-20 scenario just a little bit cleaner. Right? Shallow retracement. We're really going to hone in on these this year. Shallow retracement. 118, 127 zone. Trend line break. Bang. Bang. All right. 80-20 scenario. No matter the time frame, no matter the asset class, it all moves in waves. Right. So we're breaking down now. Okay. So there's your opportunity to get short. Okay. 42 pips to the downside, right? If you place your stop above the high as a tight stop, 16 pips for 40. All right. A little more than a 2-to-1. Beautiful opportunity there. Right. And then you got the opportunity to get long afterwards. Okay. And we know from our top-down analysis, right? Getting back to that daily resistance level, right? We got a ways to go. Okay. So that pullback in that retest of that zone, right? Give us an opportunity to get short, puts us in perfect position, right? For a beautiful risk to reward scenario. Place our stop below the low, that's 27 pips, potential 300 to the upside, right? So you can play it both ways. Play it both ways, right? It's a beautiful opportunity here. Questions on the CAD Swiss. It's a beautiful setup, right? Textbook all the way through. Okay. So those that haven't started digging into the training, definitely do. And we got some things in the store for our inner circle members, right? Ben and I we've been grinding. So we got some things in store for you guys that we think you will really, really like when it comes to updates to the training, and some other things which I'll talk about here in a second. But any questions here on this CAD Swiss? Nope.
Nope. Good work.
Cool deal. So, talking about updates. Benny, you cool if I roll into this right now?
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Sweet. So we've been working with programmers, we've been working with developers to really help us hone in on some of the things that we're doing so that we can really provide you guys some really, really key setups that fit right in with our methodology and how we use the fibs and how we see the market, so that we can provide ultimately more trade setups for us, right? And from a notification perspective. But along with that, we've been working on a new environment, right? I mentioned in the email that we were going to be shifting to Discord, right? So you guys are going to receive an email today with login credentials for Discord. If you don't have the app, if you don't have a profile, strongly suggest hopping in prematurely and setting up your individual profile. So when you get the link, you can dive right into the channel. But you're going to receive this information for Discord today. Okay. We have it set up to where we have the reason we chose Discord, right? Why? Right. You guys know I ask why all the time. We chose Discord because it allows us better control of our environment, right? But it also allows us a lot of automation features that will help us be more efficient in our service delivery to you guys, right? We want to make sure that we're delivering you guys high value, right? And efficiency. Okay. Discord allows us to bring all of that together and be a lot more efficient in what we do, and have a lot more control of our environment. So that's why we chose Discord. We're also able to do a lot more things in Discord when it comes to breakout sessions and things like that we might add in the future. But we're able to separate things pretty easily. And we have a trade idea section. I'm going to do a video for you guys walking through the Discord channel, showing you where everything is. But we have a trade idea section where all of the trade ideas will go, right? And it'll be separate from the chat. So it'll be easy to go in and take a look at it, to see the trade ideas, see what they are. And you'll get a good breakdown of those trade ideas, just the same as we do now, right? Then you'll have your own individual chat, just like you do with Telegram, where we can have clean conversation. We won't have to go back and look for, right, the trade setups and sift through everything. It'll just be the chat for you guys. You can post your trade ideas in there. We can have our trader talk in that chat channel. We believe it'll be a better environment for us to move forward. So we're super excited about that. We're also working on an updated training. And the updated training is going to include everything that it had before. We're going to streamline things, make them a little bit smaller in size, but information packed, right? Including some of the things that we covered second half of the year when it comes to the cloud, right? The Ichimoku cloud and what that looks like. Another breakdown of risk management, right? And how that looks, and some of the smaller pieces, entry techniques. We may even throw in there for newer folks, breaks down of MT4 and how to set that up. So we have a ton that's coming in this first quarter for you guys that we're super, super excited about. And we can't wait to deliver it to you. But the first piece of that is going to be the Discord channel the Discord server that's going to be able to allow us to be more efficient and more effective. So super excited about it. You guys are going to receive an email about it this afternoon. So keep a lookout on your emails for that. Benny, you got any thoughts on that? Any of it? Anything to add?
No, you did an excellent job. I definitely look forward to getting everything updated in the back office in regards to the more streamlined training. I think that'll be exciting and help a lot of people. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's something that was being worked on and planned last year, right? But then it becomes a one-off course being sold. So we'll get it updated in the back office and make sure we do our part to make sure that's completed as soon as possible.
Yes. It's coming. We appreciate you guys being on this journey with us, man. It's been fun. It's been exciting. Seeing you guys' growth and you guys help us grow, right? As much as you guys have said that we help you guys grow. So we want to continue to ensure that we're providing you the best value possible in a very efficient way, right? That really, really lends toward different learning styles all at the same time. So any questions? I love it. I love the excitement. Any questions about anything before we wrap it up this morning? No. Grateful for you too, Donette. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the kind words. Awesome. Benny, anything from a chart perspective, trading perspective before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir. I'm looking forward to a great year. A great year in 2023. Learned a ton over the last year and a half. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope all of you are too. And I look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session.
Yes, sir. All right. You guys have an awesome day. And keep in mind, right, we're setting the intention right now. This is the year of results, right? This is the year of results. So let's have an awesome day. Let's go get it. Talk to you later. Peace.